Hi, this is Tom from Firearms, and I'm going to instruct you on this video on how to convert degrees of field of view into a usable measurement of length field of view. Field of view is how much you see of the surroundings when you're looking into your scope. If you guys want the easy conversion, you can fast forward to the end of this tape and just use the easy conversion. This is going to be how to convert using trigonometric functions degrees into field of view length. So let's go ahead and get started. When you buy a scope, a lot of times it'll have the field of view measured in degrees. And your degrees is going to be the actual angle that you are going to be able to see your surroundings in. So let's just pick an example of 9 degrees. So let's say you buy a scope that has a field of view that has 9 degrees. You have a certain amount of distance to the target. I'm just going to pick a random number that's going to be a common number that a lot of people will use to set up scopes on their rifles, which is going to be 100 yards. Then we have our F.O.V over here, which is going to be the field of view, how much surroundings you can see. So let's go ahead and get started. With this information, I can use trigonometric functions to figure this out. So as you notice, half of this triangle right here is going to be a right triangle. So I just move this right over here into the right triangle. So I still have my information and I can use geometry to figure this out. So right here I have my angle still. Now this is half of the triangle, so I do have to half my degrees. So I have 4.5 degrees. My length or distance to the target is going to be the same. It's going to be 100 yards. And then over here is what I'm really trying to find out. So I'm just going to call this X because that's my unknown side. So with this information, I can use this formula. It's tangent of angle A. So the tangent of angle A is going to be equal to the opposite side of the triangle divided by its adjacent side. So for example, the tangent of angle A, which is 4.5 degrees, is equal to the opposite side, which is going to be X, over the adjacent side. So the adjacent side of the angle is going to be the 100 yards. So now I can rearrange this and then plug my information in and solve. So I rearrange this by getting rid of the adjacent side, by multiplying by the adjacent side. Those will now cancel each other out. What I do to this side, I must do to the other side. And so I'm going to multiply that side by the adjacent. So my new formula is the adjacent side times tangent angle A equals opposite, which is going to be X. Now I just plug in my formula. My adjacent side is going to be 100 yards. My tangent of angle A is still going to be tangent 4.5 degrees equals my X. As you write this in, this is the exact way that you would pop it into a scientific calculator. 100, then hit the tangent button, 4.5, close off the parentheses and hit the equal sign. Then you are going to get 7.9 when you round that off. And the answer is going to be in yards. Now this answer is again just for half of this field of view. And over here we have half of the field of view and then the other half, so you have to multiply that by 2. So when you multiply that by 2, you are going to get 15.7 yards. And this is going to be at a certain distance. It's at 100 yards. So we are going to complete the formula. So what this is really telling me is if I buy a scope that has 9-degree field of view, I'm able to see 15.7 yards of surroundings if I'm looking at 100 yards distance. For those of you guys that do not like yards and you want this translated in feet, just multiply it by 3 and then you're going to get the 47 feet at still 100 yards. So you can see 47 feet across of your surroundings at 100 yards distance. Now, for those of you guys that would like the conversion factor, that's a little bit easier to translate right at 100 yards. It is going to be 1 degree equals 1.75 at 100. So there's a nice little conversion factor. If you are looking at objects at 100 something distance, the conversion is going to be 1.75. So what does that mean? If this is at 100 yards, 1.75 is going to be in yards. If this is 100 meters away, this conversion factor is going to be 1.75 meters. Now again, this conversion factor will not work for any range that is beyond or less than 100 yards or meters. So in order to do that, you would have to go back here and adjust your length to 1,000 yards or 1,000 meters, or whatever meters or yards you're going to look at. And that is one of the reasons that I would like to demonstrate this. I hope that clears up a couple of issues, and I hope you found this video very instructional. Again, this is Tom from Mac Arms. I appreciate you watching. Thanks a lot.